When the season ended, Steve had to make a decision: finish his college career at Maryland or turn pro.
He really wanted to get to that Final Four and win the championship. But after we did the evaluation of talking to the NBA and different teams, it was hard for him to go back.
Clearly, he was a lotto pick. The real issue was where was he going to go in the top 1, 2, 3.
In just 3 years, Steve had gone from high school dropout to NBA lottery pick. But the day he dreamed of wouldn't go as planned.
With the second pick in the 1999 NBA draft,
Don't draft Steve. He does not want to play here.
the Vancouver Grizzlies select
I do not want to play in Vancouver. So we're at the draft. So it's at my hometown. It's at the MCI Center. So it's jam-packed. My family, my grandmother, everybody, we're all sitting there. So I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, Chicago about to pick. They about to pick. I'm about to get #1 pick.
He's been mentioned all week as a potential #1. What a night this promises to be for Steve Francis.
Steve Francis was on the doorstep of a dream. Only one thing could ruin it.
I'm like, man, Jeff, I do not want to play in Vancouver. He's like, Steve, I understand. So, I'm repeatedly telling him this because we knew they had the #2 pick.
Don't draft Steve. He does not want to play here.
David Stern, the commissioner, comes up to the podium.
with the first pick,
And with the first pick, the Chicago Bulls select. I'm like, yes.
Elton Brand from Duke University.
Elton Brand. I'm like, oh my goodness. And then he goes back up to the podium.
With the second pick in the 1999 NBA draft, the Vancouver Grizzlies select
So I'm down like this.
Steve Francis from the University of Maryland.
My grandma told me, don't poke my lip out. Go up there.
The Maryland guard looked like he might trip over his bottom lip on the way to the podium.
So I'm up there shaking the commissioner's hand, and he says to me, don't worry about it. There'll be better days. You'll have a great career.
Unfortunately for the Grizzlies, the expression on Francis's face spoke volumes.
And it took us 9 hours to get to Vancouver. I'm like, man, how's my family gonna come see me? How am I gonna be able to go home, see my family?
The year before, the Grizzlies had selected point guard Mike Bibby. It was unclear where Steve would fit in.
They really didn't have a concrete answer for me, like where I was gonna play. So then I told Nate and Jeff, I was like, hey man, y'all my agents, y'all gotta get it done.
Steve held out. He demanded a trade.
There's no question in the public eye there was some damage.
Fans already perceive us as spoiled, and when you're able to come out and dictate where you want to play at and things like that, that just magnifies that. So, of course, you're going to know the fans going to be rubbed the wrong way.
Not saying that I should have my way, but I just think if I'm doing business with somebody and they say they don't want to do business with me, I wouldn't do business with them, plain and simple.
We had to sit back and make a decision. What's going to be best for Steve Francis? And it's the stand that we took.
We spoke with a number of general managers. Houston was a city and a team that had the right components of issues with the cap.
It was, at that time, the largest trade that ever been done in the NBA. Yeah, I think it was 13 players involved, which was, it takes a lot of time just to trade one player for another today, and it took forever to do this one.
All of a sudden, I hear Houston. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. I was jumping up and down forever, man, and they told me I got traded to Houston, man. I was so excited.
Houston at the time, you had 3, top 50 guys. He wouldn't be thrown into the fire. You could learn from Akeem Olajuwon, a Charles Barkley, a Scottie Pippen at the time.
Well, Scottie got traded before I got there. Barkley got hurt. Akeem was, in and out. He got injured.
He's the only one left. So he ended up learning a lot, but not how we planned the learning. He learned by doing and performing. And, he can rise to any occasion.
Good grief.
Steve Francis taking it. Oh, how did he make that? Steal by Stevie Francis. Look out. Oh!
He wasn't overwhelmed with the league. He felt like he belonged right away, and that's a big challenge to most guys coming in.
Francis says, this is the way you do it. Oh, what a shot! I don't believe it!
He felt comfortable pretty much right away.
And Francis flies through the air. Oh!
Gary Payton's on a fast break, so he's going for a layup. I said, give me that. So Gary Payton's like, oh, this little young want to talk trash.
Oh, now they are really yakking. Look at him.
We were face to face, and I'm like, damn, this is Gary Payton right here. This is my rookie year.
Guys really came at him a lot, and so, you know, he just wouldn't back down.
Steve's play quickly repaired his image, but the fans in Vancouver weren't so forgiving.
Oh, my goodness.
In Vancouver, a very hostile crowd awaiting Steve Francis here this evening.
I know people outside the arena can hear it. It just rang out.
Guys were throwing things from the rafters onto the court.
People were throwing batteries, tomatoes.
It was really a hostile crowd out there.
All rejection inside. Well, that'll go down as a highlight for Grizzlies fans tonight. Now Francis just throws it up. Oh, what an athletic play by Steve Francis.
I go out there, man. I'm making shots. I'm throwing the ball up the backboard through the lane, dunking it, and I'm having a great game, and we win.
Francis crossover, elevates, sticks the